Hello, Steve and Alex. Welcome back to Life in Blocks. My name is Wild Ones, and we're still here at the site of the uh, stronghold we located last time. And I've done a bunch of work on the portal room. I've converted the Silverfish spawner into a collection area, and I want to show that to you today. I haven't gone to the end yet. I plan to do that soon, but not yet. But let's take a look at some of the things that I've done here, and I think it will be kind of interesting. So down, I got vines growing here, so I can collect them and use them for making some more of these mossy bricks if I decide to use them. But as you can see, this area in here is the right down there. That's the silverfish spawner, and I've built up a nether brick construct around it so that the silverfish can't bed into that. I left these glass things here. At one point I had lava dripping down here to try and light this up, and it didn't work as well as I had hoped, so I've kind of capped that off for the moment. I am not finding that these glass blocks here are really interfering too much with the spawn rates, so for the time being they're still there. The other thing I did is over here I still have full access to the end portal. Now what I'm not sure of is whether silverfish theoretically could spawn in this area over here, and I'm not sure if they're doing that and then dropping through the end, and I'm going to wind up having to deal with them when I finally do go to the end. But if that's the case, I'll deal with it at that time. Now what's happening with these silverfish is they're if you go right over here, they're being washed down here, channels on the sides, dropping it towards the middle and dropping right through that hole. While I was building the rest of this, I had a bucket of lava in there to just kill them, but now that I've had a moment to come down here and excavate a bunch of area here and do some construction. So what I've built over here is a smooth stone generator, and it looks like I need to do a reset on it here. What do we have? Yeah, something's wrong. Well, that's not in the right place. All right. All right. There we go. All right. So the way this works is I've got lava which will drop down through a path here onto water. This is running water. And then below it we've got a sticky piston with a piece of glass on it. So I've got a power source here running through this repeater. When a block forms, the signal passes through the block. When this powers the piston, which pushes the block up to there. No, I'm sorry, this doesn't. This just sends the signal through there. The redstone comes through here, powers that block, and then underneath this block there's a repeater that powers that piston, pushing it up. Push the block up here, and that signal that comes through there also goes up here and powers that piston to push it out. So these are all stone until they come over here where the silverfish drop through. So the silverfish will drop through here, land on top of the last stone block, and then I've got a observer block here looking at that block. As soon as that one of the silverfish embed themselves into that block, this will recognize that, and it will fire this piston, which sends a communication back to there saying, hey, go ahead and advance that block. That's what this line here does. It also sends that signal up here to fire this piston, which is one over from that. So when that gets pushed over here, then this pushes forward and shoving those now monster eggs on down the line. I have over here a couple of dispensers that I was using to try and, this one is lava that would dispense out here to kill those if I need to, and that one was going to be water that would help break the fall, but I found that it's not really necessary, so I don't bother to do that. Yeah, so after this thing right here, this is the control. Because of the way this thing works, you wind up getting a double pulse out of here. And if you don't control it right. So this thing is basically to prevent the pistons from just pulsating. If I don't have some sort of T flip-flop here, though that piston there and the one down there will just pulsate continuously. So that's what that's for. It also uses the signal to decide, because this thing will recognize both when a new block moves in, when a block moves out, and when it gets infested with a silverfish. So this helps sort all that out and only do for certain things. Now sometimes this machine will get stuck. The silverfish will infest the block virtually at the same time the pistons are firing to do the other operation, and so this will be pushed forward where it's waiting for a silverfish, and the block is already infected, and so it can't get reinfected. So to overcome that, I added this thing here. This is basically just a hopper clock, and when this is turned on, it sends a signal here to lock this hopper and allow the blocks that are in here to pass to this side. When this block is forward, this is locked, this is unlocked because of the torch, the signal's inverted. When this is on, this is turned off, so this allows things to pass out of it. But at the same time, this is forward, so this is locked. So that one's locked, that one's unlocked, and vice versa. It allows the blocks to pass in. Now back under here, there's a comparator that as those blocks come through, it builds up a signal. That signal passes around. You can just see it here. Goes through this block. Now this is also piston under here. So as the signal goes through here, it'll lift this up, send through just a single pulse, which is interrupted. And this goes through just long enough to pull that block back. So if this block has been sitting here for too long, these will run out, and this will send through a signal just long enough for this to reach out and grab that and pull it back. So that helps to reset it most of the time. Occasionally you need to play with some of these other switches, and I've got buttons and switches over here to help me reset if I need to. So got all that. Now these blocks that pass through here, these are all infected blocks. So I've got them all encased in trapdoors, so that it's basically a tube. So I can walk near it, right up against it, but if the silverfish happen to break out of there, they're still contained within that tube. From there, they get pushed into here. And when this pushes forward, that's going to push the block down, and then this will advance it forward again. Looks like we're stuck. Not sure why that's happening. I have never had a problem with this one before, but strange. Okay. So yeah, so as this gets advanced forward, let's watch it. There you go. It's pretty quick. This uses the same kind of trigger mechanism. We send in a signal when there's a full block there. It sends a signal through and recognizes it, which powers that piston, and then a tick later it powers this one to advance that. So those blocks get pushed in here. This is pretty dark, but looks like we're okay. So those blocks get pushed through here. They will make their way down here, and when they get to this block, the redstone torch powers that block as it sits on top of this, which allows the signal to come through here and power this row of pistons. So the whole row of blocks will be advanced forward. And those blocks, when they get to this point, hit this observer block, which pushes them up, and then a split second later powers this whole wall of pistons. So this wall of pistons will shove everything forward. So the effect is that as these blocks move forward, they push up and then get shoved over, and it'll fill up one layer at a time. So this layer will fill up, and then when it can't fill into this layer anymore, it's pushing them up to this point and push that over. These blocks right here are left over from a test I did a little while ago. So those blocks should actually be infected blocks, and there you go. So they get pushed up, pushed over, and when everything gets up to the top, you can I'm going to put a port up there where I can break a couple of blocks to release a couple of silverfish, and then just start throwing some poison potions at them which won't kill them, but it will harm them and cause them to break all of their buddies out of their eggs. And we'll get those things broken loose, and then I can kill them. Now, how I'm going to kill them, I haven't quite worked out yet. Some potions of harming would be an ideal way to do that, but unfortunately, at the moment, in order to get potions of harming, I need watermelons or melons, and I don't have any melons, so I'm probably going to have to go on an exploration trip to see if I can find melons. Now, the reason I have granite and diorite and andesite, and I think those are gravel, and some wood blocks, is that none of those blocks can be infected by silverfish. So when they're in here, they're pretty much all contained, and I don't have to worry about them breaking free and coming out and infecting the rest of this. For the same token, I put all of my redstone on those kinds of blocks as well, so that my machines are safe from being infected, and then they silverfish break out of them, and now I've got missing blocks. So everything that's got redstone on it or some mechanism should be one of those special stone blocks that won't just go away. I was using granite for all of this, and it looks like I need to do so with a couple more blocks, but this was a last minute addition, so that's the reason that's the way it is. So that is the machine. Now, to be honest with you, my machine lagged down. I had the test I did, I had this filled up to about halfway. And when I started breaking silverfish out of their space here, my machine totally bogged down, and I could hardly move for several minutes. So I'm not sure I ever really want to fill it up all the way, because that would probably crash. So I may want to think about kind of redesigning this and toning it down a bit, maybe reducing the size a bit. Just so you know how I built this wall of pistons. Basically, I've got a redstone signal comes in from the other side where the trigger is, and it comes along this line of wood. Now, these pistons, this is the bottom row of pistons, are sitting right here, and so the redstone line coming back there triggers this row of pistons and that row of pistons. I think that's how it works anyway. I've got a repeater here because that's 11 blocks. So I've got a repeater here which feeds into this block. There's a dot of redstone on top of that. And then that goes up to this block, which goes back into a row going down the other way. It has the same mechanism on the other side, same setup on the other side, and so basically I just zigzag up and down the rows until I've gotten to the top. So one every other side, and this is the top. So we can just look down in there and see when it's filled. when it's totally filled, we theoretically could break through there and start throwing things in there or whatever mechanism. I was also thinking about possibly using dynamite, dropping a dynamite down on there, which might work, but I don't want to damage the construction, so I probably need to take some precautions to make sure that I don't actually damage that. And I'm not sure whether that honestly would break silverfish out of their block or whether it would just kill them. So I'll need to do a test on that. The other piece of this is that if we go on down to the basement below this, this broke out into this water area here. And right through this is underneath the silverfish eggs where they're collecting. I built this, my thought was I'll build like a big funnel underneath this thing, and the silverfish will all come down here and collect right there in that spot, and then I can kill them. And they do that pretty well, but the problem is that the entity cramming rule, which means when I get that many silverfish in here, they just die, and I don't get experience for it, and silverfish don't drop anything, so it's pretty much just a waste of time and effort. So I need to come up with an alternative way to kill the silverfish. And what I'm thinking about at this point is to rip all this out and build basically a water tray underneath this. Maybe a block deep. And use the gunpowder or the TNT idea, because with water underneath, TNT going off will not destroy blocks, no matter where they're at. But it would kill the silverfish. And if I light that by hand using a flint and steel, as opposed to with redstone, I get credit for the kill. So I would get the experience. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And the more I think about it, the more I think that's probably the best approach. So I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and rip this out. And do a little bit of modification here and see if I can make that happen. Okay guys, we're back. As you can see, we've made quite a bit of modifications. I'm up here at the top. I've replaced this whole floor with glass so we can see down into the collection area, which is now full. And I modified the bottom to put in that water tray like I mentioned. I also had to modify the top here a bit by putting you may see some cobblestone here in the monster eggs. Those are monster eggs. I just was inserting some cobblestone here and there just to kind of track it and see where I was as it was filling up. So as I was AFKing. So we're going to go ahead and break some of these out, and then we'll throw some potions in there and get them to start a chain reaction, hopefully. So only one block down, so it's entirely possible that I can get some of them jumping out, but hopefully I can do this fast enough to keep them contained. So let's go ahead and get started on this and see if I can get this whole thing rolling. So
we'll just break some blocks here. Yeah, so here we go. Yeah, and see that already jumping out. All right. Well, let me just see if I can break the rest of these out before they come out and get me. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, he keeps bumping me every time I try and. All right. I think I'm gonna have to deal with these guys. Yeah, I can't. All right, I'm gonna have to kill these guys. Yep, yep. Get them. It's not that they're necessarily doing that much damage to me, but well, they are wearing me down. If I just left them there, they would eventually wear me down. But it's more a fact that I can't hit these blocks, so I need to get these broken out. All right, now we're 2 blocks down all the way around, so I can probably break out a few more. And I don't know. I suppose if I get maybe 10 or 12 of those guys broken out of there, that should be enough to start a good chain reaction. So I do have poison potions, and I'm using poison as opposed to something else like instant harming, because the instant harming would actually kill them. The poison will just bring them down to like half a heart or whatever that is. So they'll still be alive. It won't ever completely kill them. So that keeps them alive so that I can kill them with my. I'm gonna try the TNT. Hopefully that'll do it and won't destroy any blocks, because I've got the water tray below. And so we'll give that a try. Yeah. All right, that should be enough. Let's go ahead and throw in some poison potions and see what happens. Just so you know, guys, there's a really good chance that this could bog my machine down really bad. And, yeah, there we go. It could bog my machine down so bad that I potentially couldn't finish this. So I did make a copy of the world. So if I find that that's the case and I am not able to do this, then I'll mark that up to experience, and we'll just move on another way. Oh, that was great. Poisoned myself. All right. Well, should take maybe another potion or another poison potion or two to get these guys down to the bottom. There's 3. Going. I can feel my machine lagging down, but it's not dead yet. So keep your fingers crossed, and we'll see how it goes. Still quite a ways to go. All right, let's see. Give this a try. As you can see from my inventory window there, guys, I did upgrade to 1.12 just because I was working on things, and the release came out, and I wanted to try it out. So I have upgraded to 1.12. And it's good so far. have any complaints so far. Yeah, so hopefully this one will do the trick. If I can get it broken out to the point of, there we go, see the light starting to shine through as we break through that bottom floor. There are some torches down below the bottom layer of blocks, so that's what's shining through now. All right, good. I still see some blocks there, but maybe we can go ahead and drop a TNT in there and take care of some of those silverfish and break the rest of those out. Now let's give that a try. And flint and steel, so I can light it. And here we go. First thing I need to do is place this block. Why can't I place that? Oh, because the trapdoor's in the way. Okay, so where can I put this? Break the trapdoor. Maybe I could put it up on the ceiling and it would drop down. Then we could do that. But wait a minute. If I put it up here, it's going to drop down and land on top of that trapdoor, so that won't work. Oh, wait a minute. I can put it down here on the glass below the trapdoor. Yeah, because that trapdoor is actually above the glass level. Yeah, so let me try and target in here and see if I can place it right here on the glass. There we go. All right. Switch to my flint and steel and light this thing. And all right, it's gone. Bombs away. Let's see. Oh no, is it gonna land on top? Oh no, it's down. You see it. Oh. Is that the explosion? Oh, there's the explosion. All right, good. Puffs of smoke. And the explosion of experience orbs. Okay, so I definitely got them. Okay, and then that looks like the rest of the silverfish breaking out of the other blocks, maybe. Yep. Wow. I was thinking that if I dropped some... oh, now I've got more lag from the pistons firing. That's funny. Okay, I was actually thinking that I would get a little bit less lag because when I killed some of those silverfish, but I think those experience orbs are also counted as entities, which also slows everything down too. So I may actually be in a worse situation here lag-wise. All right, guys, I'm going to try and get this, maybe drop another TNT on them here and see if I can get this taken care of. And I'll check back with you in a few minutes. See ya. Here for a little bit. Silverfish got loose in here a little bit and caused some damage, and while I was trying to clean that up, I accidentally set off a TNT in here and wound up blowing this mechanism up. So I've repaired that. I think I'm pretty much done with this for now. This was a fun experiment, but it's not really a very efficient XP farm, so it was fun to do, but I'm probably not going to go do very much more with it. But again, like I said, it was fun to do. So next time we'll be moving on to something else, and eventually we will make that trip to the end and take care of the dragon. But for now, guys, I'm going to go ahead and sign off, and we will see you all next time. Have a great day.